Hey Metro, it's Miss Watson here. I hope everybody's doing well. You're almost done with the school year. We are almost finished with remote learning. I know we're all super pumped about that and ready to be having that behind us. Okay, so I'm here just to share a few thoughts with you for this week. Just things that I've been thinking about that I want to share with you. So currently I'm in my laundry room. I don't really bring a lot of people in here. It's nothing spectacular or exciting. It's just our landing spot. Got boys' backpacks there in their locker area. Back door, head out to the garage when we get ready to leave each day. Okay, so why are we in my laundry room? Well, there was a time when Evan hadn't even started school yet, and until we were both in elementary school, school wasn't fun for our family. It brought a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress into our lives and into our thoughts. And so one year, it's August, and school's about to start up again, and I got a couple of kids that were really anxious about going back to school. And frankly, as a mom, I was really nervous about sending them. And just what was the year going to be like? What all was it going to entail? And so we started thinking, what can we do as a family to help us prepare and not live in fear, but have the right attitudes about what we were going to be going into? And so we said, let's look at what God says and let's lean on his word. And let's think of all the Bible stories that we can where we see God's faithfulness and his taking care of his people. And so we sat down and we started drawing pictures and we started writing out scriptures. And we created this banner, and it goes all the way around our laundry room. Remember, this was like several years ago. And so we created this. There's David from David and Goliath. There's actually Gideon, a sword for the Lord. Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. There's one from Galatians 5:6. The only thing that counts is faith expressing itself through love. All these different reminders for our family as we get ready to go out the door. This guy, we have no idea. We have no memory of what his story is. Toby drew him. He's wearing sunglasses. I can't remember of any story in the Bible where a guy's wearing sunglasses, but he is part of the banner, so he stays. Evan was so little at the time, like his were more abstract, just kind of drawings. Anyway, so we would, anytime to this day, we come in this room, you'll catch one of us kind of glancing up from time to time, just being mindful and remembering that before we step out these doors, let's get our focus right and let's be ready to step out into the world because we have a God that loves us and is faithful. Okay, so this is my laundry room. Now I'm going to take you up through my kitchen. Hang on. All right, so this actually started this year. When you think about Paul and his letters in the New Testament, he was writing to specific groups of Christians about things that he wanted those individuals to be mindful of and to have on their hearts and in their speech and in their thoughts. And so he would write specific letters to certain churches. So for us, I started this year, basically we're creating a letter to our family. Things that we want to remember, either from conversations that we've had, from sermons that we've listened to, from things that we've come home hearing from school, that we just think, man, that's good stuff. And we want to remember that and hold on to it so that we can reread it and just be mindful of who we want to be as the Christians with the last name Watson that live at the house. And so it starts with, my dear Watsons. So if you are microwaving, hanging out, waiting for your popcorn to get done or whatever, then you can just turn around and read this and have these reminders of who we want to be about as a family living in this house for the Lord. Okay, so I'm going to tell you why I told you both these stories and share both these examples, but we're going to step outside and wrap it up on the front porch. And specifically right out the front door, and I'll tell you why. So I want you to think back. Where were you spring break when you very first heard we weren't coming back and we were going to start this thing called remote learning? Who even knew what that meant at the time? What was it going to look like? A week after we started, I'm sending out a netiquette email to everyone. I didn't even know before this experience what the word netiquette was, email etiquette and internet etiquette, and how to act. And we're all learning that as we go. It's been entertaining, to say the least. So anyway, I want you to think back to where you were when you first found out, my life has changed. My school year's now changing. I'm definitely not going to be back to school. What were your thoughts? What were your emotions? What was going through your head at that point? Honestly, I was kind of in shock. It seemed surreal. I didn't think it would last very long. I was kind of thinking, hey, spring break got extended a little bit longer. It'll be nice. Like, we'll do some work online, but it won't be too bad. So that's where I was initially when I heard the news. But as we got into this experience and reality started setting in, there's been some days. I've had some really highs, some really good days. I've had some really big lows, some bad days where I just was really down. One of those days was a high and a low. I got to go a couple weeks ago and take signs around to some of our seniors to put in their front yard and just let them know how much we love them and miss them, and hate that their senior year has taken a turn, something that wasn't anticipated. But it was fun to get to see them. We social distance, of course, and just got to bless them a little bit. And it was awesome. I was on a high. And then I came home and it just hit me. Like, all the expectations that I had for this spring, the plans that I was looking forward to, the activities, the sports, the musical, everything that I was looking forward to for our community was different. And it wasn't what I thought it was going to look like. And I just broke down. And that was the first day that I really cried over what we were going through. Mind you, we're all safe. We're not experiencing in our family what some people are experiencing with this virus. And so I get all that. But for me, my expectations were not they were not being met and what I had planned. And so I had a low. There were days before that, which usually I get angry first. And so there were a few days where there were outbursts either by me or my kids, just frustrated with the situation, frustrated with the technology and trying to figure it out. So we had those moments too. I want you to think about what were some of your highs and what have been some of your lows through this experience. And then I want to ask you, so many times I say, it's one of my common phrases, something that I believe. And I believe that God designed us to be first and foremost in relationship with Him, and then in relationship and community with one another. And so for me, what I want to ask you is, what are you learning through this experience? What has God been teaching you and talking to you about? Have you even recognized that it's God that is whispering to you and speaking to you? Or sometimes maybe He's getting up in your face and talking to you about it. But I want you to think about, we all are so big on community, and the fact that we're missing out on being community the way we like to be, and the way I think that we're designed to be together. But like I said, first, we are designed to be in relationship with Him. And this is a time when we can focus on that. And what a gift. And through this crazy atypical experience, what is He trying to teach you and tell you? What does He want you to know about Him and His relationship with you? Are you even listening to Him? Are you recognizing Him? Do you believe in God? Is He part of this process for you? And so something I want to ask you to do is to take some time and ask God, what are you trying to teach me through this? What do you want me to take away from this? For some of you, this has been a great, fine experience. For some people, it's been really hard. But my point is, don't let this experience go wasted. We've all changed. Everyone's different now because of this. And so when you step back out these doors, and that's why I landed on my front doorstep, because the time's coming when we're going to get to leave our houses even more unrestricted than what we have been. And so when you step back out these doors, are you fearful? Are you excited? Are there words of encouragement that you want to share with others? I know for all of us, like I said, each one of us has changed. And I don't want you to feel like you have to assume that you have to go back and be the person that you were before this experience, but that you get to go forward and you get to share who you are now. And so I ask each of you to give one another the space in order to be someone that's different and changed and new, or slightly altered, or someone that's learned something. And so I just want you to think about who, when you step out these doors again, what do you want to be about? Who do you want to be? And what has God taught you through this experience? I miss all of you, My front porch is over this direction, and some seniors have been coming by 3 at a time to visit. If any of you, not just seniors, want to come by, let me know. You can contact me and come sit outside and visit and catch up. We just do usually about 3 of you at a time. You have to come separately too until they tell us otherwise. But I just want you to know I love you. I'm thinking about you. I can't wait for us to all be back together and get to hang out and be community. But while you're in this season where you're not getting to interact with others like you typically would, take and say, Lord, use this and teach me about the relationship that you want with me. Because that, first and foremost, has to be intact if we want to be someone that is encouraging and useful to others. And give each other love and grace and space as we go back into relationship and community with each other. I love y'all. Take care.